Nature of the biggest social media app, Facebook. Its oversight board has just ruled against the site's decision regarding a number of posts which were taken down because they were deemed offensive or harmful. This as Facebook launches a news service in the UK, which it says will pay the UK news organisations for the content hosted on the site. Let's get some analysis on this by speaking to Dennis-Kenji Kipker from the Institute for Information and Health at the University of Bremen in Germany. Dennis, good to speak with you. Thanks for being with us. Now, were you surprised that the Oversight Board took this decision?
Yeah, the will of many nation states to regulate large tech corporations has been growing for several years. And until now, however, there has been a lack, of course, of viable international regulations. And national legislators have also had some difficulties regulating platforms of large and international corporations. And with this new oversight board, Facebook has now committed itself, at least in part. And in the future, this means that the decisions made by Facebook algorithm, for example, when posts are deleted, will not be unquestionably more comprehensible. However, in my opinion, the user community now has an indirect influence on which content will appear on Facebook and which will not. And this can certainly be seen as progress, of course, especially since the political pressure has been increasing recently on Facebook. An important decision, in my opinion, will also be of this oversight board in the near future, whether a former US President Trump will be allowed to share content on Facebook again.
Yeah, that'll be the big test, won't it? And that'll be coming in the next few weeks. What do you think their decision in this instance, these 5 decisions that we've seen, tells us about the future of the site? As you mentioned, there is growing political pressure on Facebook. It always seems to me like when Facebook does something like this, they're trying to get one step ahead of the regulators. Do you agree?
I think this is a difficult decision because on one hand, we have the way that publishers also will benefit from decisions to set up Facebook as own news service, of course. But this is Facebook's own decision. And in my opinion, it will be more and more difficult for regulators to regulate all these big tech corporations because national laws are limited to the national borders, but the data traffic, it does not stop at these borders. So this is a thing that will have to be figured out in the near future, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And let's just delve in a little more to the Facebook news. As I said, it's rolled out in the UK this week. It was in the US previously. And Facebook finds itself at a bit of a crossroads here. It's trying to show that it's investing in news, which it does profit off, but not massively. But also, obviously, news organizations want to make sure they're getting a fair share. Is Facebook sort of plowing the middle ground here? Do you think it's going far enough to invest?
Yeah, as I mentioned it before, of course, Facebook will earn more money from this advertising, but it will also be the publisher that benefit from the decision of Facebook to set up its own news channel. And of course, there are expenses for Facebook, but in my opinion, compared to the sums that Facebook will earn from advertising, these are likely to be less significant. And with its own news service, however, Facebook has the opportunity, in my opinion, to make the platform even more attractive by offering new services to its customers. And much more importantly, it has a bigger opportunity than ever before to analyze user behavior and, of course, draw out of this conclusions from it. And in my opinion, the news service Facebook will offer is a good chance not to operate only as a social network that we have currently, but also to rise or to become a global media group that may at a later date also eliminate other players in this field as possible competitors.
Interesting times ahead. Dennis-Kenji Kipker from the University of Bremen in Germany, thank you for